What's up guys, today's video is sponsored by USA Networks and all content and opinions are of course my own. Right now I am roaming around Porto Montenegro and I figured right now would be as good a time as any to give you my 3 tips for saving money while traveling. So this video is inspired by the hit show Queen of the South, which if you didn't know is returning for its 3rd season on June 21st at 9/8 Central, and we get to follow the main character played by Alex Braga, who is running her own drug empire / she's the queen pin and hashtag making it rain. So that made me think about how I make it rain or hashtag make it rain and look like I'm living the luxe life but on a budget. So my 3 tips for saving money while traveling versus to travel, because I am doing the whole long-term travel thing, and so I always need money for my next destination, which means I can't go overspending in one country and I still have 2 months left on a journey. It's not gonna work. So my first tip is Airbnb and hostels over hotels. So I am in Porto Montenegro, as I said. Let me pan the camera real quick so you can see again. So we have yachts, the world's only platinum awarded marina, the world's only, is here in Montenegro, and I'm staying just a walk from it in my Airbnb. Now the hotels down here in this area, I'd say 1, maybe 2 nights cost what I'm paying for an entire month at my Airbnb, which is right up the hill. I'm literally less than a 10 minutes walk from here. So Airbnbs are a great way to feel like you're living like a local, but you're not exactly paying that mortgage like a local. I also feel like I'm helping out, you know, someone who is living in the area, because the money is essentially going to them versus a hotel that could be a part of a chain but that's not going back into the community. Now when it comes to hostels, I think they are the perfect way to be in a central location but without the hotel price. Most hostels I choose are literally in the middle of the most populated area. Like in Thailand, I stayed directly on Khao San Road. In Copenhagen, I stayed in a hostel that I think was called Downtown Copenhagen Hostel, and it was literally right downtown. Like I could walk to Nijhaven, I could walk to museums, I could walk to other landmarks, even Christiania, if you know where that is. I won't tell you, but you just get to be in the middle of everything without the price of being in the middle of everything. My second tip is to cook instead of eating out. And this is really when Airbnb stole my heart. Like, have you been to Paris lately? Even if you're staying in the off the beaten path neighborhoods, it is expensive as hell to get a meal. I remember walking past places and they would have on the menu croissant, juice, and something else. Maybe it was and a baguette, I think. It would be like 8 euros for 2 pieces of bread and some orange juice. Like, no thank you. I need my kitchen. I need to whip up a chef's breakfast if I like, or even something simple like me making my oatmeal. I like to cook instead of eat, and that's where hostels also come in handy, because they usually have free breakfast in addition to cheap or free meals at night, and you have kitchen access. My third tip, and it's a big one, and some people avoid it like the plague, but use public transportation instead of car services. So that means taxi, Uber, Lyft, whatever you use as an app on your phone, hop on the bus or the subway. I assure you it is the way to go. To bring up my favorite city again, Paris. I remember the first time I went there, I was with a friend, and I want to say as soon as we got off our plane and we were walking out of the airport, the taxi drivers are already there trying to grab you and get you to the city. That sounded like a scene out of Taken. But they're there trying to sell you their services, and they're charging like 60 euros minimum, I think, to take you directly into the city. 60 euros. You can hop on the train for about 13, and the only reason it's so expensive is because you're coming from outside of the city into the heart of the city. So if you're just catching the train around Paris, I think, you know, a train ride could cost you a couple euros, not even that much, maybe like $1 something, but it's comparable to the rest of the world, the New Yorks, the LAs, the DCs. Hop on the train or a bus or even a bike. Just don't catch Uber around the busiest cities in the world. Now, the only place I would say comes in handy when using a car service are places, in my experience, around Southeast Asia, where Ubers are charging pennies on the dollar what these taxi drivers are charging you. I remember catching an Uber from my hotel to the airport, and it was like 65 cents. I had a little coupon, but it was like 65 cents. Now the only thing with those is they're not that ethical. Like in New York and other major cities, these car services are pushing taxi drivers out of a job. So yeah, them charging pennies is taking money out of other people's pockets, and it's driving the prices down for actual taxi drivers. So it's a give and take, but I try to avoid them whenever I can. So when people ask how I travel so much, these are literally the 3 tips that I use. It's a no-brainer for me because I'm not one of those people who I want to splurge on one big trip a year. When I had a 9-to-5, I was aiming for an international trip every month, or at least every other month. I think I did a little better than every other month. But the only way I was going to do that is if I was saving money while traveling and not just saving money eternally for traveling. So if you think you can handle this, then I think you'll be good and you'll be able to travel more. And don't forget, if you want to see how the Queen of the South herself makes it rain, tune in to USA Network June 21st at 9/8 Central. Let me know how you save money while traveling. I'm always looking for more tips. I'll see you guys in the next video.
That's a real one in your reflection, without a follow, without a mention. You really piping up on these niggas. You gotta be nice for what to these niggas? I understand. You got 100 bands, you got a baby bands, you got some bad friends. High school pics, you was even bad then. You ain't stressing off no lover in the past tense.